known as Granny Rocks. And we are finally on the air, and I hope that you haven't given up on us. But if you do, come back and see us later. I have finally figured out why we were not live streaming on Facebook, and hopefully fix the problem. So
Yay,
there we
We're
go.
on Facebook. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
Okay.
So please do chat with us.
Okay, yeah. So here we are. I'm Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks, and we're doing the show. And I am going to talk about the myth of the individual, notwithstanding the fact that we've been blocked for 10 minutes.
And I'm James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James. And I'm handling the chat. Please chat with us, and she will talk directly to you.
Yes. And so now it's telling us that we're not streaming, but I know we are. So moving right along. Do you know what that dinging donging is? So most of us experience ourselves as individuals, and it's we think we are individuals. We feel like individuals, and as I was saying the first couple of times when I was trying to broadcast this program, that it's very understandable. If somebody stabs me, you could walk away, and I'm on the ground dying. So we are clearly individuals, but there's another level to all this. And does it look like we are broadcasting?
I'll refresh.
Okay.
Oh, here we are.
There we go. Yes.
We are live.
We are live. It's telling us that we're not broadcasting. Oh, look.
Okay, Elizabeth sends a heart of hello, a heart of love, and Todd says, "Yay, you made it!"
Oh God.
And Tracy says, "Hello, great to see you."
Oh my
Thank you.
goodness,
Oh,
you
wonderful.
have no idea. Right now, it's telling us that we are not streaming, that we're completely off the air, but we're not going to pay any attention to that. And earlier than this, it just simply did not stream to Facebook, but I managed to fix it. So hello to Karen, to Tracy. Karen said, "Oh, good, you're here." We are.
Yes.
To Todd, can you just close that so I can see all the people that I'm saying hello
Well,
to?
Todd,
Elizabeth, I think.
Elizabeth, yes.
Tracy, Karen, Amy. We
And
see
Amy is
you
here
now.
too. We
Oh,
see you
right.
now.
Lovely.
Sends hearts of love. Thank you.
So I am going to talk about this topic no matter how blocked I am. We are not individuals. We only think we are. So I'm talking about this on several levels. Some of you have heard me talk about this before in
Even
other
though
ways.
I have a unique fingerprint.
Yes, and even though we're obviously unique and we are, it seems, separate, because I can walk out one door, you can go walk out the other, so obviously we are individuals, right? But why do I say we are not? Well, we are not things that I want to talk about tonight. One is that we are completely dependent on one another for our existence. We cannot raise ourselves. We may think we're individuals, but we are actually a total product of a family, a society, people who took care of us. I have yet to meet one person who actually was able to feed, clothe, diaper, and do all of those things for themselves.
Or even be conceived all by themselves.
Couldn't do that either. So that's kind of a myth. And, but then on a deeper level, we have the social issue about being individuals. And I'm going to talk about that a bit. But then there's another level of that I want to address with you. So first one was easy, right? We couldn't have raised ourselves. We couldn't take care of ourselves. The second thing is we are not individuals because we are all products of a family, of a society, of a neighborhood, of a time. You know, very few of us are willing to admit that we don't have minds of our own. It's a shocking thought. Shocking, 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 shocking. So, first of all, we even think and speak in language. That language, you didn't make it up.
Nope.
You got that language from others, from the society, from your family, and you think in terms of the language that you learned. Anybody who has studied a foreign language discovers that it's very difficult to translate from one language to another because things are conceptualized differently. And the more different our society, the more different the way we conceptualize things. So, wait a minute, but isn't this my thought? I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm so horrified by what happened today trying to get this program on, and I'm so upset, and well, you know, maybe I'm not upset. Maybe James is upset and I'm picking up his upset. Or maybe you're upset because I didn't show up. Or maybe I am upset. But why am I upset? Well, because I grew up with the idea that everything is supposed to be perfect. If you don't believe me, you should have met my mother. And so my anxiety, if I am upset, it's because of my anxiety. I have let you down, right? I did not do it right. Right? Now you say, well, but of course you're going to feel that way. No. See, that's the myth of the individual telling you that of course you're going to think about this way because doesn't everybody? No, actually everybody doesn't. In different societies we have different attitudes. We have different attitudes towards time. We have different attitudes towards success. We have different attitude towards family. We have different values. Now, and then it's complicated by the fact that as we are growing up, we also have friends, peers who are influencing our thinking. Yeah, 1 minute, oh yeah, we're all cutesy-pootsy with our family and they're wonderful mom, dad. So let's say that happened. That happens in some cases, right? So then what happens is you grow up and you become a teenager and now you have friends and your friends are saying, oh, they don't know what they're talking about, right? And all of a sudden you're thinking, they don't know what they're talking about. Well, is that your thought? Is that their thought? I know from experience, and this is terrifying, that I think James' thoughts and think they are mine all the time.
Yep.
And he's a witness to that. I have his dreams, maybe he has mine. But it's more than that. It's that I don't know how I see things because I have been conditioned to see them in a certain way. And so in that sense, no, I am not an individual. I am part of a collective that has prejudices. I mean, where would prejudice come from if we actually were individuals? You think somebody is born with the idea, well, brown people are not as good as white people, or brown people are better than white people. And do you think that's one of the first thoughts that infant has? I don't think so. No, not at all. That is taught, learned, and not only learned by my mother told me this, but by watching everybody around us, what they believe. And we pick up the values of our society. It is so obvious. You go to societies where people behave in ways that you think are just horrible, barbaric, insane. I probably feel the same way. Right. But the people in that society think it's normal. Then they're exposed to other societies, and then they have to decide whether they're normal or the other people are normal. You see what I'm saying?
Or you walk into a room and you feel what other people are feeling.
Or you walk into a room.
There's a group of people who are experiencing a certain emotion.
Absolutely.
And you feel it too.
I mean, it is or you're, in rural America or wherever you are, there's a high level of anxiety and hysteria, which gets in the way of rational thinking. But we don't even know it because we get swept up. there are ideas that are considered very bizarre, and then suddenly they become very popular. And how does that happen? These individuals, that they just woke up one day and said, I think differently. And then all of a sudden there's fashion. You want to talk about something ridiculous. We have an idea of what a woman is supposed to look like, how she's supposed to dress, what she's supposed to do with her hair, and et cetera, et cetera. Same thing for a man, right? So it's all there. Okay, so in a way, this is pretty obvious, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, now, the third level on which we are not individuals is the most bizarre.
Mm.
I know on some level that I'm part of something bigger. How do I know that? Well, you say, well, you're a mystic. But it's the kind of feeling that people have all over the world. And it's pretty common, that feeling you have that you've returned home. Maybe you're at a football game and everybody is going, whoa, whoa, and you suddenly feel like you're like, oh, so happy because you're a part of something and you feel like you're a part of something. So I want to look into that a little bit different, a little deeper. We tend to think of a group, we define a group as a bunch of individuals who come together for a purpose, right? Or because they have an affinity for one another, or they're born in the same town or whatever. We are part of that group. So you say, okay, well, there's nothing mystical or woo-woo about that, right? Well, there isn't, but that isn't the fact. A group is not a series of individuals who just add to each other until they just mystically turn into a group. A group is a sense of oneness with one another for whatever reason. It is like the understanding, the realization of our connection. Now, what do I mean? I'm going to give you an example. So Sir James and I have been working on a band. And actually, we've been fighting about the band for a while now. And every time we would get close to the band becoming something, James would have an opinion that he needed to do something else. And that was the end of the band, right? And I'm not saying this to tell on you. I'm just trying to make a point. Sure. So, okay. Now, he said, well, I still want to be able to do this. And I want to do the band with you, but I want to do completely different things also. And, that sounds reasonable, doesn't it? I mean, everybody would say, that is so reasonable. And Beth, you are so unreasonable. Well, I may be, but I want you to think about this differently. Maybe the band has an essence, and we are expressions of that band. So that's what I want you to start thinking about. The group is not a series of individuals that come together. They are a spirit. We are an essence that expresses itself in different ways. Looks like,
We have a comment here from Nepal. Rabi. Namaste from Kathmandu.
Thank you, Robbie. Well,
Namaste.
you missed a lot of the show where everything was going wrong, but maybe you were with us, I don't know. So, what does it feel like when you are a part of something where there's a lot of people who come together, or a few people who come together for a purpose? Let's say you're working for Starbucks.
Okay.
And you come into work, and there's a whole bunch of people who come into work, and they're all individuals. And how do you know? Because if any of them got an opportunity to do something better and get a better salary, they would probably leave. But supposing you have a unity and an essence with people, and you say, we feel the call. to create a Starbucks. Now, of course, I'm giving kind of a ludicrous example. Now, we wouldn't just fall apart in a moment. We couldn't be seduced away from one another. When you love somebody and you feel like you're part of a family, you have. I want to go further in this. This may sound like nonsense to you, but it isn't. Let us look at conception, birth. We have an egg, we have a sperm. You say, okay, we have two individuals, right? But in order to create life or express life, that egg and that sperm have to come together. And I spent a lot of time this evening trying to figure out what happens to the sperm after it fertilizes the egg. And everywhere I go when they talk about childbirth, they don't talk about that. They don't answer that question. But I think that from what I just read, the sperm just disappears. You know, it disappears. They merge into one. Now you have an egg, which is the merger of the egg and the sperm. And that egg starts to split. So everything that comes from that egg came from that oneness. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying now? Can you get rid of that, James, please? So in case there's another comment, we would even see it. Okay, thank you. So when we form a band, what am I looking for? I'm looking for that feeling of oneness, because then it's not like my style and his style and we're going to play together. It's like, what is the essence? You know, I asked James about the Beatles. You know, did the Beatles have a sound? And yeah, they had differences and arguments and stuff like that. But there was something about the Beatles that made them the Beatles, that people would hear them and say, that's the Beatles.
That's the musical group, by the way, not the insect.
Yeah, that's right. That is the musical group.
Those who are not familiar.
That's right. That's right. Not everybody, you know, was alive in the 60s. So anyway, what I'm looking for in our band is what is the essence of the us that we are each going to express. I won't be playing the same music, and he won't be playing the same music as we would if we were separate, because we are not a group of individuals. We are an expression of the oneness. Now, you take that rather strange idea and apply it to everything. And then we have what some people metaphorically call the universe or God or the oneness or the source or whatever. But people forever have been feeling that there is something universal that is animated in each one of us. Mm-hmm. And that we remember when we go outside and we look at the stars. It's kind of hard to remember that in certain circumstances, but when we are with nature, it's much easier to see that. We see that awe, that we are part of something. That, my friends, is the most awesome feeling on earth. Sometimes a mother and child, or a husband and wife, or two male lovers or female lovers, or any can feel that in that moment. When we go to the meeting of a political party that we belong to, we're looking for that feeling, guys. You know, you're not going there necessarily to have an intelligent conversation. You're going there to feel oneness. Oneness is not only real, as I hope I have demonstrated on a biological level, but also it is a necessity for our well-being as human beings. And the price that we're paying for focusing on the individual is that we lose So we live in a society where we emphasize the individual. And each one of us has to do something different or look different or say something special different, but not really different. As long as we're different within the context that everybody else agrees with, that's okay. But we step on each other to get ahead, and we are losing the safety of the oneness, the well-being that we feel when we're in a group. Go to an AA meeting. Everybody says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, an alcoholic," right? We're looking for that real connection. And I'm saying it's already there. That we should take off the blindfolds and recognize that we are one, that we come from an egg and a sperm who lost their individual identity to create a whole, a cell, which became differentiated cells. We are differentiated aspects of the oneness. Every cell in your body is a differentiated aspect of you. It's not like, here's the skin and it's different from my liver. They're all differentiated aspects of you. And the same thing, we are differentiated aspects of the whole, craving to return to that feeling of oneness. So stop feeding yourself the idea that you're an individual and that you have to fight for your individuality. Start with a sense of oneness and see who you become as a result. I think I'd better stop because we did start kind of late today. My apologies again. I really don't know why any of this happened, but my brand new computer didn't work and a whole bunch of other things didn't work. But there it is. We're still here. We tried.
We're still standing.
We're still standing, and you're lucky that you missed, if you're on Facebook, you missed the first 10 minutes where we were, all kinds of chaos was breaking loose. And but we are connected to you, even when you don't show up, because we're all together. Now, tomorrow night, we are going to be doing magical improvs. And what is magical is that we are going to go to that well, to that place of oneness, and we are going to play music from that place. Mm-hmm. That's our intention, because we have decided to be the band, kindred spirits, and that it's not like we are going to come together to create this band. We are finding what unites us, and we're going to see what happens. So please come and join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific time for Magical Improvs, where I play the piano and James sings. And come back next week for Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks, where we hope to have more luck, but we aren't going anywhere. We are connected to you, and thank God you too are connected to us. So we'll see you next Wednesday, hopefully at 6:30. And tomorrow night typically at 6:30 Pacific time, and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We love you. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate the connection.
Glad to have you with us. We are one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.